Okay, so this is not really going to be a review, so to say. This is going to be mainly me just discussing these chapters and giving my thoughts about the chapter. So I'm not going to really go in depth completely, but I do want to discuss some things because with the last chapter, like the second chapter that came out today, I do have to admit that shit was fucking amazing. I like that ending and I like that chapter. It was good. But before I get into that, the good stuff, I want to cover the bad things first. So, the first chapter that came out today. Okay, so I don't know how many noticed what was wrong with that chapter, it just depends. But the first chapter, he kind of throws out the window, Frosh or Frog, Cat Boy, whatever you want to call his name. Pretty much the entire dilemma of the death flag of him possibly dying was just casted aside, threw out the window in this chapter. I mean, it's said in this chapter that destiny changed, but I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not at all, because this desperation and this build-up that we've had since, the Grand Magic Games, stuff like that, it really upsets me. It really does. So, I'm kind of slightly irked about that. It's not as bad as last week's chapters. Oh, God, those just one of the worst chapters I've ever seen in fairy tale history. It is one of the worst. So, to see this right here, this chapter, the first chapter, is not as bad. It kind of makes me upset how that plot point was just casted aside. So, besides that, the second part, the second chapter, that's the chapter I really want to focus this, video on. The second chapter kind of finally reveals the Black Wizard Zeref's backstory. And for the most part, I was quite shocked to see that side of Zeref, and to find out why he is like he is, and why he has this type of ability, his power, and why he has lived for so long. I mean, we finally get this information with this chapter, these two chapters. I guess one chapter, because the first chapter didn't really dive into Zeref. So, the second chapter. So, the second chapter we got today, Zeref gets his backstory revealed. We come to find out that Zeref, at one point in time, he was very keen on learning magic. Like, he wanted to learn magic that could manipulate life or death. He wanted magic that could resurrect the dead. And as we know from any series, it's not just fairy tale, but let's just do a series I recently remember in my mind, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. There's a good one. When you want to bring back the dead, you're stepping into God's territory. You don't step into that territory or you will get wrecked. And that's what happened to Zeref. He crossed the line. He decided to step into God's territory and he got punished for his actions. And so we come to find out, for him stepping into the boundary of God and wanting to resurrect his dead brother, he got cursed. And this curse made it to where he would be immortal, but everything around him, he would exert this magic when he had emotions for people and stuff, and it would kill everybody around him. So we come to find out that this magic he has was cursed upon him by God, pretty much, or the gods. Very interesting, very ironic. It really is. I mean, supposedly a god cursed him, even though, God of War got fucking wrecked last week. Just very fucking ironic. But, let's not even get into that, okay? So, Zeref has been cursed, and we finally come to find out he's not really bad, so to say. So, I'm calling it right now. I'm calling it, and I'm going to say it right now. It's going to happen. We all know it's going to happen, so let's just face it. With this chapter, it's revealed that Zeref is Zeref Dragonhill. So, the brother of Natsu. And judging by the way his personality is and how it was and how he's been cursed, he's not really necessarily evil from what we can see. It's obvious, very fucking obvious, that he is going to get taught no jutsu. He's going to come to the good side. It's obvious. It's very, 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 very obvious. Because Natsu's not going to let his brother, live a life like that. For a fact. Like, when Natsu finds out that Zeref is his brother, and he was created to kill his brother, kind of, Natsu's not going to allow that. He's going to, he's going to try to save him. So, get ready for that. That's definitely going to happen. We all know that's going to happen. But what's really interesting about this chapter, though, is Otnologia's human form reveal. Wow. He looks like a badass motherfucker. I gotta say that shit. Holy shit. Otnologia looks like a badass motherfucker. It's just like, that's crazy as shit, man. His design, I will hand it to Hiro Mashima. but I have said this many times, the majority of us already know, when it comes to character designs and artwork, Hiro Mashima is definitely one of the best. A weekly chapter series. He's definitely one of the best. His artwork is fucking crazy. Even though the last chapters, last week were fucking terrible, the artwork was crazy good. It really was. The artwork was really damn good. And so with this chapter, the artwork, oh my god, getting to see the final couple pages, especially that page with Nagia, oh god, dude, that's gonna be so beast. I can't wait to see that in the anime. I really cannot wait to see that in the anime. It's gonna be probably beast. So yeah, I mean, these two chapters for the most part. First chapter, meh. That was the first chapter, just meh. It wasn't nothing, oh my god, amazing. But it was okay. Second chapter, damn good chapter. So, Mashima, do chapters like these, and everything will be A-okay. A-okay. So, hopefully, the hype continues. Next week, we get some more crazy things going on. And judging by the way this chapter was done, you could assume Fairy Tail's coming to an end. You could assume, because, it's very weird. I do want to mention something real quick. Fairy Tail was revealed to have a new movie very recently, and also it was revealed that it's going to be having, a Master Edition. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it was on Anime News Network. A Master Edition of the manga. The Master Edition's kind of like compressing the first 5 volumes of Fairy Tail into one big volume. Kind of like, the Attack on Titan Colossal Edition. That's what's happening with Fairy Tail, and for Fairy Tail to be having something like that this late in the game, something like that, it makes me assume that Fairy Tail's wrapping up, because usually when a series is getting an edition like that, where a bunch of volumes are being compressed into each other, the series is probably going to be ending very soon. So that's what I am thinking right now. I feel like the way that was done is that Fairy Tail's starting to wrap up, especially with the way this cliffhanger was in this episode. The immortal, or, dragon versus immortal versus humans. That's kind of what was going on. So, it's going to be pretty epic. I can't wait to see that. So, tell me your thoughts in the comments below. Let's hope we get more chapters like this chapter, the last chapter we got today. So, tell me your thoughts. Love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.